What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear DC Comics? If you identify as a high IQ individual, then you'll say Vixen. I mean, just look at her. I would love to be kidnapped and tied up by a criminal, have her save me, then tie me back up because I bet she's an animal in the sheets. Boo! Alright, maybe that's the case somewhere in the multiverse, but here on Earth 1, most people would probably say Batman and Superman come first to mind when you mention DC Comics. Rightfully so. Superman has been carrying DC since June of 1938 when Action Comics #1 dropped. And then there's Batman. He's a billionaire who's been carrying family trauma and not attending therapy since he first appeared in Detective Comics #27 back in 1939. Do y'all know how much important stuff has happened since 1939? Minus Forrest Gump, we've eradicated polio, we went to the moon just so your crazy uncle can deny it on Facebook. Hell, Prince predicted there would be a party in 1999 way back in his song that he released in 1982. There's a lot of amazing stuff that has happened. With that being said, Batman and Superman have been there every step of the way. In combination with comic books, we've seen the rise of other forms of media such as movies and video games. Because of that, it's not hard to find people complaining in forms of their fatigue of the world's finest. Alright, fair criticism. There's a new superhero movie every few months that often regurgitates the same heroes, villains, and storylines that we already know. There's literally two Batmans right now between the Snyderverse and The Batman. Joker got his own movie. He's rumored to have a musical in the works that nobody asked for, by the way. And he appears in a deleted scene for The Batman. And don't forget there's Henry Cavill's Superman, plus Superman and Lois on that god-awful CW network. So, what's DC's solution to people's criticism? Well, make a movie about their sons, of course. What, you thought you were about to get something different? I have to admit that I am pleasantly surprised by Battle of the Super Sons. This film is a solid 6, maybe a 7 on a good day, and that's a sigh of relief for me because I was afraid I was gonna waste my time. Admittedly, I came into this movie with a bias. It didn't help that this film's opening scene is a summary of Superman's origin either. Seriously, come on DC. At this point, who doesn't already know about the block-headed baby sent away from a failing Krypton on a spaceship who happened to land in Trump country, Kansas, and didn't end up growing up to be a right-leaning weirdo, but instead the greatest bipartisan superhero with an S-curl? The art style didn't help either. I wasn't a big fan of what I saw in the trailers released on YouTube earlier in the year. It looked like that cheap animation style anime companies have been using to cut corners. Surprisingly, the art grew on me. It was very vibrant and welcoming, which fit the tone of the video. There's a scene early on where Green Arrow is on the watchtower, and the way the lighting from space hits Green Arrow's fit, it looked really nice and it relaxed any preconceived notions that I had about this movie. I still believe my favorite art style comes from that run DC had with its animated films a few years back with movies like Flashpoint Paradox, Son of Batman, and Teen Titans The Judas Contract, but Battle of the Super Sons was cool. It definitely stands out with its unique choice of art, the same way Catwoman Hunted stands out with its unique anime-influenced art style. I did a video on that, by the way. Bet you didn't know she had her own animated film that dropped in 2022, and it wasn't bad either. There'll be a link in the description box below if you want to check out that video. But back to the Super Sons. The last thing that I'll mention about the art is it was confusing. For the most part, it is vibrant and colorful, so at first glance, you would assume this is a children's movie. The overall tone in the dialogue also feels more geared towards children as well, but be aware that this is rated PG-13. For the most part, I'd say this film is kid-friendly, but I counted a couple curse words throughout its 79-minute runtime. It was nothing excessive. It just threw me off when I heard the words ass being used. Then a quick Google search revealed that it wasn't rated PG like I assumed. The light cursing wouldn't have bothered me if I had a child in the room, but if you do and that stuff bothers you, then please be aware of it. Don't be an ignorant Saiyan like me.
Spare me your monkey wisdom.
Well, okay. Anyways, the gist of the film without spoiling anything major is the Earth is in trouble and the world's finest can't help, so it's up to the boys to save the day. There's Jonathan Kent, who's struggling with the recent discovery of his powers, and then there's Damian Wayne there to agitate everyone. In recent years, the comics have finally provided Damian with some character development by giving him a strong connection to animals. What I liked about this movie is this film showcases that element of his personality, and I hope to see more of that because nothing is worse than a one-dimensional character, especially considering his father is the Bat, and that guy has all types of layers that need to be peeled back in therapy when he's done beating up clowns and giant lizards in the sewers. Jonathan is very green behind the ears, seeing as this is a kid who grew up in the farm town of Smallville. His naivety and joyful nature works in contrast with Damian's smart-ass remarks and darker tone. There's legit some moments in this movie that made me laugh. It was nothing that made me fall out laughing or like a knee slapper, but I chuckled, so, you know, kudos to DC because I wasn't expecting that. Other positives include the action scenes being serviceable, There were a lot of cameos from some of your favorite DC characters, and there were some heartwarming moments between the dads and their sons. I think where Super Sons fumbles the bag is its villain. Minor spoilers ahead, the villain was okay, but it made no sense why they'd allowed Superboy and Robin a chance to take them down. They took out all other threats on Earth who were bigger, stronger, smarter, and faster, and some might argue they got a pass because they were young and maybe not deemed as a threat because of their inexperience, but then why enslave the entire Earth? Why take control of the everyday man just trying to make a living scamming people on the street with card tricks? I think the hero's motivations could have used stronger writing, as the current plot was a little too convenient for pushing these two to the forefront. The good news is it's not a hard watch. Super Sons clocks in at 79 minutes, which translates to 1 hour and 19 minutes for those of you not capable of doing the math. That means it's not going to eat up too much of your time, so even if some of the plot points are a little too convenient, who cares? This isn't supposed to be the next big DC thing. I think it's something that's easily digestible for the family. I wouldn't mind seeing more of these two paired up in future projects, as their chemistry really started to mesh well by the end of the movie.
It's a shame I don't have more time to break you down.
Actually, I do. I'm just tired of talking. So let's wrap this one up. All in all, Battle of the Super Sons was a pleasant surprise. Now, is this must-watch TV? No, but it's worth adding to your queue if you're a fan of comic books and an avid movie watcher looking for something new to indulge in. You can pick up this film on Blu-ray right now, or you can stream it by renting from platforms like Amazon, YouTube, or Apple TV, which is as easy as counting to 1, 2, 3. I'm just saying.